All right, so first off, introduce yourself for the people who not familiar with you.
SaBir Bey, South Philadelphia, 22nd and Catherine. Where I was born and raised on a playground where I spent most of my days. Austin.
Fact. So talk about a little bit your childhood, some of the struggles as far as coming up in South Philly. You know, the environment. How was it during that time?
Vicious, man. We grew up in the late 80s, early 90s in South Philly, where back then you had most people see Black Incorporated. We grew up in the era of the JBM, which is the Junior Black Mafia. Junior Black Mafia, see, and I said this walking through Philadelphia. Philadelphia, they never came to South Philly. They only went to North Philly and West Philly and Southwest. But we was in the era of JBM, where people see the movies, State Property. We lived it. It wasn't a movie.
Right. So you talk about the talk to them, because some people might be thinking you talk about Biggie Smalls and the Junior Mafia clique and things like that.
This is before. This is a little bit before Biggie Smalls even was out. This is the crazy part. JBM was just Junior Black Mafia. Shout out to Biggie Smalls and rest in peace. But the Junior Black Mafia was an offshoot of the Black Mafia in Philadelphia. So they called themselves the Junior Black Mafia, which was different. And they were vicious. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna hold you. They were really vicious, but they would never really play with South Philadelphia. We didn't play. We didn't allow no outsiders to come in South Philly. We rocked with that.
Facts.
You know, so from like 88 on up to like 99, it was vicious in Philly, brother. It was very vicious.
Fact. Who was some of the people that, as far as started off, that was a major impact as far as the Philadelphia scene back then?
As far as what? Like what, the mob or the gangs or which one?
Yeah, no, just influences as far as Philadelphia and South Philadelphia, you know, because influences come from, you know, positive and negative.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna tell you, we had, our old heads was the people that was in Black Incorporated, which is called Murder Inc., the book that everybody see out here now. A lot of my family members were from, what you had, Russell Barnes, Jackie Wright. I know some of these people they may not know, but these are people that was around at that particular time. Arnold Pickney, his guys, they was our old heads. Or even down to Kenny Gamble, man. Kenny Gamble was a gangster, man. He wasn't no slouch, brother. Kenny Gamble is Gamble and Huff in Philadelphia Records, the Philly sound.
Thanks.
So it's a lot that came out around that time, and they was our old hits.
Definitely some legendary names right there. Now, you mentioned Murder Inc. You know, a lot of people, like I said, it's kind of crazy how, as far as hip-hop and how we kind of take and then recreate. You see what I'm saying?
Well, Murder Inc. is something new. Murder Inc. That's hip-hop. That's what we call rap. It's a difference between hip-hop and rap. Like KRS-One would say, rap is something you do, hip-hop is something you live.
Right.
Rap is something you do, and hip-hop is something that you live. So you live the culture of hip-hop. That's what that is. Even down to Meek Mill. Shout out to Meek Mill's Philly, baby, all day. I rock with Philly. Meek Mill's uncles, actually, Grandmaster Nell. If you're not familiar with Grandmaster Nell was Meek Mill's uncle. He was our DJ. He was the flyest DJ. He was the baddest DJ. And that's where Meek Mill even inherited his, talent from. His father was a DJ. I remember his father got killed. So it's a lot of history that people don't know. So Meek didn't just pop out on the scene. Meek got that from his family, the Parkers.
Okay. So, and where was Grandmaster Nell from, just for question?
South Philly, baby. 18th Street, Fitzwater Street, Catherine Street, this is us.
Right. I think I remember as far as, I remember early on, Meek had a heavy line. I think he reset it in his championship album, like Chillin' by the Green Gates, Cops Come We Straight Ball.
He might have been talking about Mary Anderson. Who knows what he's talking about? He could be saying Mary, because Mary Anderson's, we used to lock it down with block parties, man. Mary Anderson's was the bomb, and there was a lot of killing around the area too at the time. A lot.
Okay. All right, now fast forward a little on. Let's talk about as far as the mindset that you had, just growing up in South Philadelphia as a youth.
Man, vicious, man. I remember growing up, and I say this to people. I was one of the ones that wanted to be the in crowd. I used to smoke weed, but when I smoked weed at the time, I used to do silly things that I know I shouldn't have been doing, and I got caught up in. But I stopped smoking weed when I went into the Nation of Islam at 17. You know, I had to straighten it out because, you know, you hooky school at the Parker's house. No, Meek Mill's family's house. We used to hooky school over there. But we, you know, we would smoke weed and we would run around. We would do childish things, man. You know, you do stuff like that when you're growing up. You know, the influence of the neighborhood. Even though I wasn't brought up that way, I was brought up as a Catholic. You know, but you know, you grow up your environment, man. So it was stuff that we were doing. I would never say anything to incriminate myself, but we did some things. I've been shot many times too.
Wow. So talk about that a little bit as far as and then we'll bring it back as far as like, was that like a wake up call?
Well, yeah, it's called karma. You know, and what goes around comes around. The first time I was shot, it was in Wilson Projects in a shootout. I was 18 years old. And I thought I couldn't get shot. You know, you have that invincible bull when you're younger. You know, I can't do anything. Nothing can happen to me. But I stood there literally, and it hit me, and then it took my leg off. And when I was 19 years old, it then turned around. That wasn't a wake-up call. Went right back to the streets doing the exact same thing that most people do. And sometimes, like even with Tupac had a wake-up call, but it didn't wake him up. You know, some people catch the wake-up call, some people catch it too late. Either you're dead or you're in jail. So 10 years, you know, after that, I was shot again 5 times. You know, so that was the wake-up call. That was the wake-up point of, yo, something ain't right. You know what I mean? And I still have a bullet in my head to this day.
Damn, that's crazy. So how did you feel? Because that's definitely like a reason, like you definitely here for a purpose, like to survive. Because I know homies that got hit one time on some accidental, and it's like, what, like, damn, how that happened? So talk about that feeling a little bit. Like, do you feel like it opened your eyes as far as like I'm here for a true purpose?
But you know what? The funny thing about it though, I was waking up before that. Before all this happened, I really was up. You know, I was waking up because I came out of the Nation of Islam. I thought that was the answer. I went into Sunni Islam. That wasn't the answer. I started dealing with the Moorish information or the Moorish science. That's what really took me out the streets. You know, but sometimes karma have a way of catching up to you. You know, so it really wasn't me being shot those 5 times. It was just me waking up with this information of wanting to know more about my history. You know, and how we track and how we can get out the hood. We can make it out.
Thanks. All right, now definitely you spoke about as far as the Nation of Islam and that. Speak about how was it? Because when as far as the nation and, you know, Islam was first being brought into, you know, America and the Philadelphia communities and things like that, how was it? You know, what was the vibe around that time?
Vibe as far as what time? The nation?
As far as when everything's first just being introduced, as far as the Nation of Islam and
it's discipline, brother. That's the reason why I left the nation. With the time that I was in the nation as a teenager, the discipline was different because they would literally, if you were standing on the corner, they would pick you up wherever you was at and get you to the mosque. That's how I used to be. So the stuff that I was doing in the streets, hustling, I really couldn't do it openly because if they knew that you were doing that, they would come get you.
Right.
That's how it was at one time. So it's a little different now. Some of the stuff is different in the nation, but I know that when I was doing things that they would come and pick you up, you know what I mean, and say, yo, what are you doing? Especially the old heads.
Right, it was more like
it was different, bro.
They stood on that.
It was totally different. So the discipline was really hard, you know, and I was like, man, I don't want to be in this, man. I took the bow tie off. You know, I went right back into the streets. I was like, I'm good. You know, I'm all right.
So what was it where you, as far as the came back to, or, you know, when you kind of locked in fully with Islam?
When I came into Sunni Islam. Sunnis, again, you know.
Explain the difference a little. I'm sorry to cut you off. Explain the difference for those who kind of just looking from outside, who don't really know the terms or anything like that.
Okay, the Nation of Islam came under the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, which was different, stating that we were not Arabs. We were not Arab Islam. You know, we were Muslim. They call it, quote unquote, they say black Muslims, so-called white people. So it was a difference between the practicing of us being here in America compared to us being Arabs overseas. So Elijah was saying that we're not them. This is who we are. Our issues are not their issues over there. And in reality, Islam did not even come from them. It came from us. But we was under the nation of Islam, which is the most honorable Elijah Muhammad and Farad Muhammad, which was different than Sunni Islam.
Right.
Sunni Islam is more so, they say, overseas in the Middle East. So there was a difference between the two. So, you know, in Philly, that's why people say, oh, all y'all cats in Philly with the Philly beards. You know? That's the Sunnah. The Sunnah is the beards. You know?
Okay.
That's how most of us are in Sunni Islam.
Facts. So, what is y'all views as far as Prophet Muhammad, you know, peace be upon him, as far as like those teachings? Do y'all like, what is the difference? Do y'all follow those teachings of Muhammad?
Well, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is just, you know, they say he's the seal of the prophet. But there's many, if you read in literature, they say there will be another messenger coming.
Yeah.
So people say at that particular time, Muhammad was for them. But we also had the people. And that was the difference between the Nation of Islam. You know, they would say, okay, our people were in trouble, so who came to help our people? But it was other people before the Nation of Islam. You know,
Right.
We had Noble Drew Ali that came.
Exactly.
Because our people were in trouble. You know, and if nobody knows who Noble Drew Ali is, y'all should research him. He the one that came in and said that we were not Negro, black, and color.
Exactly.
You know, so that's a fact. We were not Negro, black, and color. We were Moors. So for Elijah and Farad was, you know, this is who we are. We're suffering over here in America.
Okay.
So Prophet Muhammad was for them. It wasn't for us. But people say, well, he's the seal of the prophet, brother. Nobody comes after him. He's the seal. I say, well, a seal can be reopened too. That's all you gotta do is put some steam on it.
That's deep.
Reopen it. They'll get mad at that though. They'll get mad at that one.
Facts. So all right, now, like you said, now you getting into Islam, and you know you getting stronger and stronger with your beliefs and things like that. Did you at any point try to pull some of your homies? Because you know sometimes you try to, yo, bro, yada yada, I feel like this and this and that. Was there any times where you was trying, guide some of your like homies around you, or some of the guys that was around you at that time?
Well, a lot of us was already on it. I didn't have to pull anybody in it. A lot of the brothers that we grew up with was already in it. You know, we because the era that we came up in, it was a lot of brothers was, even in Black Incorporated, a lot of them brothers was Muslims. Believe it or not, they were Muslims, but a lot of us, automatically went to Islam.
Right.
I didn't have to tell anybody, and even in my relationships, I never forced anybody on it. I just lived by example. I never said that you have to join something, you have to be that. That's not where I'm at. You lead by example in whatever you do.